Tesla needs to do this one thing right now, or regulatory approval for full self-driving will take too long than it is absolutely necessary. Here's what I mean by that. First, it's obvious that full self-driving is getting much more better, and especially in San Francisco, looking from the videos from Hallmar's Catalog YouTube channel, the car is quite good a lot of the times, or some of the time. But the car being relatively good is actually really quite dangerous, because if you can drive for 1 hour without a takeover like Omar is going to do here, some people will not be paying attention. And what will that result in ultimately, eventually? Someone is going to get into a bad car accident and blame Tesla for that. That is expected. That will happen, I believe. To combat this, Tesla cannot just do what it is doing right now. Right now, when something happens, there's no comment from Tesla. Nothing. Because Tesla has no PR department here in the US, and full self-driving will first happen in the US, not outside of the US. Now, Tesla does have a PR department in China, but it doesn't in US. So when there is a car accident, the media is going to run with it, and maybe Elon will do a few tweets, but there isn't going to be like a strong, coordinated pushback from Tesla, reaching out to every single news outlet, showing them here's what happened, and really fighting it back in full force. Because if you do have an unfavorable public opinion, it's just going to take more time to get full self-driving out there to everyone, even when it will be safer than human driving. Now, eventually it will happen, but why do we have to slow down this process by 1 or 2 or 3 years? I don't see the point. And a PR department is not going to cost much. I mean, it can just be a few people, and that alone would go, I think, a pretty long way, as long as that department is actually not giving information that later we know, oh, that seemed like that was false completely. Like we had Tesla China deny price cut rumors only a few weeks later for Tesla to cut prices. So as long as we don't have situations like that, bad situations where you erode trust like that, then I think a PR department would not be a bad idea. Unless, that is, we don't think that full self-driving is happening anytime soon, then I don't think we need a strong PR department in the US. But if, like, the consensus between many Tesla stock investors seems like it's, 2024, 25, 26 maybe, latest, 27 certainly. I personally am more conservative, so I just say sometime before 2030 is when I believe full self-driving is going to be mostly solved. So if full self-driving really is solved quickly, even when it is solved and approved, by the way, because so many people will be using it, there will still be accidents. And each one of them is going to be a PR nightmare. It's going to be absolutely terrible. Cold-blooded machine kills a 2-month baby and a mother. Now that story, every single newspaper is going to want to run nonstop. And we want to have every single story like that dissected, and we want to fight back. Now, I hear what some investors are saying. They make an argument that Tesla has been fighting this FUD forever, for more than a decade now, and Tesla turned out fine. That is true, but there is one big distinction between investors and the public. You see, investors are more sophisticated. They literally, to be an investor, by definition, if you want to get good returns, which if you are an investor and you hold Tesla stock, it literally means you are going against the mainstream. That means you do look for the opposite of what most people think or do. So you do research. Most people, the public, I have a hard time believing that they would dig that much deeper. So with investors, I believe you can do that. When you put out a completely false story about Tesla, let's say SEC investigation, another criminal investigation to autopilot, when it only touches investors specifically, it's very easy to dismiss for us because we are so invested in Tesla. We will look into every single story deep. We won't just read the headline. No, that's not us. We read the whole story and then we dig further. We don't just read the article. We dig deep around that story. We want to know the truth. Most people, when I talk to my friends, when Tesla does these recalls, or people that work for me, in fact, one of them was asking about a year ago, oh, I was thinking about buying a Tesla, and she was buying a new car at that time. And then she mentioned all of the recalls going on with Tesla. And by the time I was talking to her, by the way, she has made her decision and already put her money down to buy the car that she wanted. And she was concerned about recalls. And I fully understand that. I mean, most people do not have time to read the news fully. They just see the headline, recall. We're not going to click into that story and read the whole thing and then do some more research if the article seems to not be fully accurate. No one does that. Only investors do that. So I would completely dismiss that argument that because Tesla did not have a PR department until now and that it worked so well, that we can continue that. Because now we are appealing to different audiences. And just to be clear, I don't think we really need a PR department to basically do anything else other than specifically fight anything related with autopilot or full self-driving. That would be really the only thing that I would want them to do. We investors, we can figure out a bad story from a good story. I think we are sophisticated enough to do that. I don't think we really need someone pointing out, oh, is this production rumor true or not? We'll figure that out ourselves. We can do that. We can dig deep. But the public, I don't have that confidence when it comes to full self-driving. I mean, if we get delayed by, let's say, 4 years because somehow we had a few really bad accidents, which will happen, I don't see the net gain in not having the PR team specifically for full self-driving and autopilot. I think Tesla could do a much better job right now already with autopilot and full self-driving specifically. Even when I installed full self-driving at first, you go through the checklist and it's nice. But I am in the complete minority, I believe. I read every single word very carefully before I turned on my FSD Beta. I bet, and by the way, if you have your FSD Beta, leave a comment below saying whether you read most of it, like every single word, or did you just quickly skim through it. Let me know. I would actually really like to know. But my experience has been, generally, most people will never read the thing that you put in front of them. Maybe just the first few words. I read the whole thing. It was pretty short, very easy to read. I would have a hard time imagining that most people would. If you somehow would make just like a quick tutorial that you have to watch before you turn on FSD Beta in your car, make it a 2-minute video. I think that would be better, and that would possibly also help avoid any bad accidents. I think some people, when they go into the car, seeing a lot of videos, like the one I just showed you from Whole Mars Catalog channel, they have a lot of confidence that FSD is going to work very well for them. and we don't have realistic expectations. I think when I first tried FSD in my car, I had very low expectations because I don't just watch Hallmark's catalog YouTube channel. I watch all the other ones, and also Vancouver could be very different in terms of how much data or how little data Tesla has here. So I did not expect much. Now it went fairly well, but if you were expecting to the car to do really well, and you were not paying extremely close attention, then that could have been a bad trip. Where the car does something unexpectedly, and then you don't want to ever use it again. Whereas if you have an expectation that it will happen, and you have to watch extremely carefully and closely, then I think we will have less chances that something does go wrong. Now, Tesla right now, before you enable FSD Beta, it does say that the car likely is going to do or can do the absolute worst thing at the absolute worst time. So if you read the thing, yes, everything is good. I think most people would easily watch like a 1-minute video instead of reading 1 minute worth of text, basically, is what I'm saying. Simple fix, maybe. So perhaps Tesla does not need to do it right now, but the moment it is very apparent that full self-driving is coming here in terms of safer than human driving in like a year or so, where we know that the high certainty, I'm talking facts, interventions per certain number of miles, things like that. Once that is clear, I think that is the right time for Tesla to make that move and have that PR department, at least specifically for full self-driving and autopilot related issues, and to spread the word about it and to educate people how to properly use it. And full self-driving, of course, is one of the main reasons why I only own Tesla stock in my stock portfolio. You can see 48 right here, or if you have already watched this video, here's another video for you right here. Thank you so much for watching. Like and subscribe if you haven't yet, and I'll see you in the next video.